examination for the degree of Doctor of Science. Professor Michael Hicks of the Delft University of Technology, the Netherlands, will act as the official opponent. And as the official casters appointed by the Aalto University School of Engineering, I declare this defense open.
Honored opponents, ladies and gentlemen. So, thank you for everyone for being here. And today I will talk about the material point method. And this method is gaining popularity in recent years to solve the extreme large deformation problem for solid mechanics. And I have two very simple goals today. And the first one is to demonstrate the capability of the material point method, and the second one is to show how we can improve the accuracy and stability. And so I'm very interested in solving the sensitive fluid landslides failure mechanism. So because nowadays the sensitive fluid landslide is more serious, leading to significant damage to the infrastructure in Nordic countries and in Canada. However, the mechanism of this failure is not well understood. Also, understanding this failure can help the engineering to prevent the potential failure in the future. And now, if we are using a conventional finite element method, we will get the first initial failure surface only, so we cannot understand the post-failure mechanism. And that is the reason why we need the material point method. And in general, we can collect the input parameters for like soil property and geometry, and we commonly use a finite element method to calculate the safety factor, or we want to determine the probability of the failure. On the other hand, we can use a material point method to calculate not only the failure probability, but also the failure sequence by quantifying the movement of the soil mass during the post-failure phase. And in literature, there are many research using NPM to model the landslides. However, we haven't addressed properly the problem regarding the stability and the accuracy. Therefore, I think that we should come back to the basic to understand the method and try to improve the accuracy and stability for the material point method. And my dissertation has two objectives. The first one is to validate the material point method, including modeling the sensitive fluid landslides. And the second one is, after understanding the advantage and the limitation of the material point method, we try to improve the stability and the accuracy. And in order to understand the material point method, we perform the validation, and the first validation is a four-point test. This in order to determine the underlying shear strength of soft soil by measuring the penetration depth. And in the University of Oxford, we have built a system in order to have a better correlation between the penetration depth and the underlying shear strength by measuring the forces between the cone and the clay. And they're also using a high-speed camera to track the movement of the cone in order to quantify the penetration depth and the velocity. And I think this is a very typical penetration problem in geotechnical engineering. So we can alternatively use a material point method. We knew that our numerical results are mesh dependent, so we performed the sensitivity analysis in order to select the proper mesh And here you can see the number on this box here is the element size, so we can refine the mesh by reducing the size of the element. And we can see that when refining the mesh, the numerical solution converge to the theoretical solutions, and that is very important because we can select the proper mesh for the numerical models. So after selecting the mesh, we compare our numerical result with the Oxford experiment. And you can see on this figure is the penetration depth during time. So we have the maximum penetration depth is around 20 millimeters. And here the velocity is increasing around 0.35 meters per second and reducing to the negative velocities before coming back to the zero. So the negative velocity means that the cone rebound upward a little bit before, at the end of the penetration due to the other elastic behavior of the clay. And consequently, you can see that the force between the cone and the clay is increasing gradually and suddenly reduced by a half due to the, and that is a very good evidence for the fact that the clay has the elastic behavior. And now we perform the simulations for the sensitive clay lens size. So we know that this clay has a solid liquid transitions. Therefore, the spread failure mechanism is very complicated. So you can see here is a mechanism that we have the different soil blocks dislocated and moving with the remote clay here. And our research methodology is to calibrate the soil model based on the available field and laboratory testing. And after that, we can use the material point method to simulate the entire process of the lens size. And here you can see that is a parameter calibration. Here you have the CPTU result, and you can see that the unbranched shear strength increased linearly with depth. And this is a very typical profile for the normally consolidated clay. And for the numerical model, we're using the red line here as the mean value of the CPTU result. And on the right figure here is the right figure is the calibration for the stress strain behavior based on the direct single shear test. You also have the four cone experiment, so we knew that the average sensitivity is around 55 and the remote unbranched shear strength is 0.7 kVA. And with the very low value here, so it means that the clay will change to liquid during shearing. And we perform a simulation here. So in order to understand the spread failure mechanism, so in our simulation we can see that we have the initial failure, and we also have observed that there is a very thin orange failure surface propagating underneath, and the first slice will trigger the progressive failure. And here you can see that you can see the formation and the dislocation of the soil block in a similar way to the observation on site. And we also have the similar retrogressing distances here to the here. And however, this analysis was done using the total stress analysis. So we do not consider the development of water pressure, and therefore we implement the hydrodynamic coupling in order to understand the water pressure. Here we using the double point material point method, and this is we have the liquid particle is blue dot here, and the solid particle is a red dot here. So we have a different particle, and we are solving the momentum balance equation for the liquid and the solid separately. And we also combine with the dust lower and the mass equation to calculate the rate of the water pressure, and then we validate with the consolidation of the one-dimensional elastic column, and you can see that the numerical solution is matched with the analytical solutions. So the analytical solution is a well-known Japanese solution using the small strain theory. And we also want to validate the numerical model with the large strain theory. And you can see that here, the large strain theory consider that the Young modulus, the permeability and the porosity are no longer constant, but the strain dependent parameters. And here you can see that we have the water pressure no longer matched with the analytical solutions. And we are trying to understand why we have the pressure oscillations. So to address these questions, we will begin with the finite element method. So in both finite element method and the material point method, we do not consider the stresses and the strain in the entire, everywhere in the element, but only in the integration point. So if we are using the linear element, we need at least two independent integration points to replicate a unique linear function in the element. And because this element has only one integration point, this element will suffer in so-called rank deficiency. It means that in the hourglass mode, in the element we have the stress strain non-zero, but at the integration point the strain are zero. And therefore, we prefer using the fully integrated element with the four integration point in the element. And however, in the material point method, we have another situation that we have so many integration points in the element. And in this situation, we have the element suffering also the rank deficiency, or you can call it the space errors. And because we have more integration points, then we are unable to replicate a unique linear function in the element. And